Mikil vakning hefur verið hér á landi síðustu árum að auka aðgengi kennara að tæknilausnum til að undirbúa nemendur fyrir framtíðina. Á annað 100 kennara af öllu landinu sóttu sér nýja þekkingu á ráðstefnunu UTIS upplýsingatækni í skólum sem haldin var í 4. sinn á Sauðárkróki, en aukin eftirspurn eftir slíkri símenntun fyrir kennara og komust færri að en vildu.
Ég kem á UTIS bara til að læra og nærast kannski, næra sjálfa mig sem kennara og fagmann í skólastarfi og fá nýjar hugmyndir og víkka samtalsleikinn.
Hvaða næringu færðu helst hérna þá?
Ég kannski hugmyndir, ég fæ svona ný sjónarhorn kannski á kennslu og skólastarf, hvernig hægt að nálgast hlutina með nýjum hætti og hvernig ég get þá, fært það inn í mitt kennsluumhverfi.
Með nýjum miðlum og tækni þarf nýja færni við lestur, innkoma hugtök eins og miðlalæsi og stafrænt læsi.
I think there's so many ways that we can go deeper and broader in literacy with technology. Giving kids the opportunity to access through images helps build background knowledge. We can use video as a tool for fueling comprehension. And now, instead of just having access to the books that are in our school or our room, we have access to books around the world as well as people. And so it allows us to use these new tools to get a better picture of humanity. So we teach kids to read to learn about themselves, to read to learn about others, and hopefully then build this cause where they want to take action to do something to impact the larger world and to show that they care and to be excited as citizens of the future. We've defined reading so linear for a long time. It's a book, there's words, you read it, questions at the end. But now we need to talk about reading graphics because as you look around, our world is so visual. Video content has surged all over the place, and so we need to teach kids to read that video because on any website you open, it starts with a video or an image, and then you have to make an intentional choice whether you will read the information that goes with it or not. No teacher has been schooled in digital literacy, and the field is changing so quickly. And so I think opportunities like this conference where they can go and learn and get some insight into the what's next with literacy, or even just that spark where they go home then and start doing further research. Teacher learning opportunities are so critical to supporting kids moving forward.
Aðgengi að upplýsingum í dag nánast ótakmarkað. Fyrri kynslóðir ólust upp við að svörin væri að finna annarkvort í bókum eða hjá kennaranum. En hlutverk kennara hefur breyst mikið og snýst í auknum mæli að aðstoða nemendur við að spyrja réttu spurningana og vera með gagnrýna hugsun. Færni til að greina og leysa vandamál, svo kölluð hönnunar hugsun, aðferð sem notuð í auknum mæli í kennslu í dag.
Design thinking is a method that we use to teach kids how to solve problems, but it's a method and a mindset. So it's about learning some creative thinking tools. So we have like games and activities that we play to help students understand how to empathize with other people. So how do you understand a problem from someone else's perspective? And then how do you take that and come up with creative solutions to solve that problem? So there's a process involved in that mirrors sort of the design process that designers would use, but they're not always creating a thing. Sometimes what they create is an idea or a game or a solution, or it doesn't have to be like a physical object that they make, but the idea is the process of solving the problems. And then along with that comes this mindset of seeing challenges as opportunities. So how do you see a problem in the world and think, hey, let's fix that, instead of, oh, there's a problem, let's complain about it, like how do you create that optimism and that mindset? And I think that comes from just practice, from showing kids that they have a voice. It's really about student agency and student voice and making them feel like they are part of a community and that they have an impact on the world beyond the classroom. Especially because for us in school growing up, school was about getting the right answer, like there were two places where you could find answers. It was your teacher or a book, but now kids have more access access to information in their phone than we could have imagined. And so I think our mindset as adults is a little different because we didn't grow up with the same access that they have. And so I think there's a big opportunity there for us to think about how we shift the way that we think about learning from my job as a teacher is to tell you the answers to my job as the teacher is to help you ask the right questions and how that can empower kids to make a big difference in the world.
Miklu skiptir að nemendur kunna greina alvöru vandamál og séu stakkbúnir til að leysa þau. Þá ekki síður mikilvægt að nemendur hafi meira eignarhaldi við sínu námi.
I believe that if we really want our students to solve problems that we adults have not yet been able to solve, we need students to know how to be creative and innovative. And so we have to think of strategies to make innovation part of our culture. And we can't tell students that if you're more innovative, we'll give you a good grade. That just doesn't work. That doesn't make innovation happen. The way students are more creative and innovative is by getting to decide and having more freedom in how they spend their time. And that's one of the elements. So I ask my students to go out into the community and find a problem that needs to be solved.
Skapandi hugsun, verklega greinar og listgreinar ættu að mati margra kennara að eiga miklu stærri hlut í námi barna í dag.
It's so incredibly important for students to make because they need an opportunity to demonstrate understanding using the creative elements that inspire them and drive them. So we want to give kids an opportunity to demonstrate that understanding through the creation of things. And as people, we are makers, we are storytellers. It's the natural part of who we are, and education moved away from that for very long. And so I'm advocating to bring that back into the classroom. And I'm so lucky to be here in Iceland to see the great things that are already going on here to support teachers as they continue that journey. Students that sometimes are disengaged from the classroom, don't want to pay attention, don't want to sit still, you give them opportunities to make with clay or to paint or to build with Legos or to design with code. They're fully engaged and they're excited to show you what you've done and what you've learned, and they're proud of it. And when they're not forced to fit into a set box or a set assignment, they can explore and grow and sometimes find things that they're interested in that they didn't even realize. Iceland is heading in the direction and ahead of where we are in the United States. One of the things that really impressed me was a wood shop in every school I visited where kids in grades 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are required to be in this wood shop and to learn and to build. And in the States, that would be terrifying to see a third grader with a saw. Like, parents would be horrified, but the fact that it's a part of the culture here, and I think that's the big thing that I'm working on, is changing the culture in the United States, school by school, to get them to understand that we need to change our culture about what we view as acceptable for our kids, because if they start learning to make at a young age, they'll always be creators instead of just consumers, which is really what we want to see from people all around the world.